that will read that Constitution and not try to put their interpretation on the Constitution as these four activist judges that we have today. If President Obama is allowed 4 more years and he makes those 2 appointments, we'll swing that court to what I would consider to be, at a minimum, a 5-4 activist court. And I'm not really willing to take that chance, and I hope you all are. Okay, yes, sir. Well, I think there's some great public-private partnerships that can occur on space exploration, and frankly, that's the direction that I would go, rather than making these substantial cuts to NASA. Then I think there are some great opportunities for us to have a space program that is in conjunction with our private sector interest as well, and combining those, obviously having the appropriate oversight. And not only do I think we can save some substantial dollars than just the government running the space program, which Mr. Obama, I guess, believes we need to be out of completely. I don't. I think the innovation that comes out of programs like the space program are well worth the dollars that we spend. But the private sector coming in as a partner, I would suggest to you, will give us a type of synergy that we've never had in the past, and that's how I would approach it. Yes, sir.
What would be your response to your president?
You're getting a hold of it. Oh, he asked the question, what would be, had I been the president, would have been my response to Iran coming in possession of a United States drone that went rogue and ended up in, it may have been in Iranian airspace to begin with, I don't know that, but they ended up in control of a very highly technical piece of our equipment. I think the president had 2 choices, and one, and having been in the Air Force, having been a pilot in the Air Force, having actually flown into that part of the world back in the mid-70s, understanding the very difficult terrain that there is in Iran. And for the last 11 years being the chief, or I should say being the commander-in-chief of the Texas Forces, National Guard, and our Texas Military Forces. I understand operational risk. Bobby and I both understand operational risk. I knew the operational risk of sending those 130s into the teeth of a hurricane, the importance of, I knew there were risks involved. But the key is, I know how to balance things. We have natural disasters, unfortunately, on a regular basis in both of our states, whether it's fires, or floods, or hurricanes, or tornadoes, and we have, space shuttles that fall out of the sky, things that you could never really plan for, but because you put together thoughtful, operational communications, etc., you're ready to deal with them as they come in front of you. This president had one of 2 choices. He could have retrieved that drone, tested the operational risks that were involved, or if he felt retrieval was too risky, he could have destroyed it. We have the technology to pinpoint with a explosive device, probably a JDAM, and completely blow that technology up where the Russians and the Chinese would not have access to it. our president chose the worst choice, which was to do nothing. And then to even make America look weaker, to publicly ask them, will you please send our girl back? That is not leadership. This president who fashions himself to be the great debater, the great negotiator, has made the world more dangerous. He's made it more dangerous because those who are hostile to the United States don't really feel that America will stand up to them when they attack our allies. When the president makes comments about, well, let's go back to the 1967 borders in Israel. When he won't sell Taiwan the newest F-16s that they request. When he won't sell India, which is an ally in a very important region of the world, the newest generation fighter. And then, to make matters worse, they go to the French and buy those fighters, the French Mirage fighters that are made in France, employing French, when Americans could have been not only developing, producing those F-16s for Taiwan and for India. And his president's foreign policy has hurt that. And it's made our allies nervous. We need a president of the United States who will never leave this country or even stay inside of this country and apologize to the United States, that believes down to their toenails that this is an exceptional country. No country's ever done more than America's done to free people around the world, and we will continue to do that. We need a president who sends a powerful message that our allies can be confident that we will be standing with them, and that the enemies of the United States need to be nervous. Well, I prayed right before I walked over here that I wouldn't make any mistakes that my friends in the media would be able to put on television. I pray often. I pray a lot because I'm prone to make a lot of mistakes. So, yes, ma'am. So, sure. One more question. Yes, sir. Pretty sure.
Thoughts on the Second Amendment?
Yeah. Yes, sir. His question is about the Second Amendment, and the Second Amendment. And I'm kind of like the Second Amendment the way I am about the 10th Amendment to the Bill of Rights. I mean that's very clear in what it says, and it says that your right to bear arms is part of our Constitution. This isn't about just a militia. This is about private citizens having the right to have weapons to protect themselves or to hunt or to whatever purpose. And obviously a lot of Americans believe in that. I think the last 2 years have been some of the best gun sales in American history. And one of the reasons is because I think Americans understand that it is part of their responsibility to defend themselves and defend their families. And the idea that you have these gun-free zones, I mean, I will tell you, and I think this is one of those that people decide state by state, whether you're going to have concealed handgun license. But the fact is, we are going to continue to respect the Second Amendment. And again, getting back, just kind of a broader question as I finish up here. Are we going to be a country that respects our Constitution not picking and choosing which one of the it's kind of like, why did we have to spend as much money and as much time in the state of Texas going all the way to the United States Supreme Court to defend Texas's right to have the Ten Commandments on the grounds of our capital? Why? Why do we have to do that? I don't understand that we've gotten so far away, or that the political correctness has gotten so ingrained in our country that we have to go defend what is clearly, from my perspective, the freedom of expression, freedom of religion is right there in our Constitution. Let's be a country that again respects our founding fathers' beliefs and vision, that our Constitution really means what it says. So let me finish with this. You have my back on January the 3rd, and I will have your back for the next 4 years.